Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have a super sweet deck. I know you guys are going to be somewhat familiar with it. This is the Red-White Vehicles deck, and we've seen a lot of iterations of it, but this is actually the list that Reed Duke played recently at the Baltimore Opens Classic. And Reed ended up winning it, and the deck was super sweet. It's got a lot of great things that you're used to, but just to go over all the cards, we got the 4 Needle Spires in the mana base. So 24 lands, 8 dual lands. You're going to have a very consistent mana base that helps ensure you hit all your land drops. With these creature lands, you're not going to flat out as often. Start the curve with Thraben Inspector, absolute all-star in this format. Toolcraft Exemplar, also an insane card. It gets to attack for 3 almost all the time with the way that this deck is built. And then to follow it up, we've got Smuggler's Copter, the arguably best card in Standard. Just absolutely insane card. Dodges all this sorcery speed removal, hard to block, also filters your draw. Veteran Motorist, another pretty heavy hitting creature as a 2-drop, pumps up your Copter so that you're basically the best Smuggler's Copter deck. And it also helps smooth out your draw too with the Scry 2. To round things out, you've got Selfless Spirit, combos well against Avacyn, but also just does a lot of good work to help protect your more valuable creatures. You've got Depala, pretty impactful on the board, pumping up your dwarves and your vehicles, and it can also be a good source of card advantage. Pia Nalaar is another sweet creature in this deck. It's 2 bodies for 1, so it helps you attrition out the decks that are trying to 1-for-1 all your stuff. It gives you an extra artifact, and it also allows you to pump up the Thopter as well as the Copter. To round out the threat base, you've got 2 Gideons at the top of your curve, so that you can either make more guys or make your guys bigger, whichever you need, and then 1 Archangel Avacyn. We also have 2 Always Watching that can add a lot of power and toughness to our body. In particular, Always Watching makes it so that cards like Liliana and Ishkana are less powerful against you if you're able to land an Always Watching. And if they don't have those cards, Always Watching is still going to be really good, adding a lot of power and toughness to your board and making it easier for you to play offense and defense. And then the few pieces of removal that we have, and we don't need many, are 3 Stasis Snares and 2 Harness Lightnings. In particular, the Stasis Snares are important because they are instant speed, so you can take down opposing Smuggler's Copters. They can deal with creatures of any size, even like a Kalitas that has started to get out of control. And it is just the best answer to Emrakul, so that's pretty important. And then Harness Lightning is just kind of the next best 2-drop. It kills Smuggler's Copter, which is the one thing that you really need to kill. And with 2 of them in the deck, you may have an outside chance of killing something small and then killing something big. All right, so let's take a look at the sideboard. We've got a few more heavy hitters for matchups where we need a little bit more attrition, a little bit more interaction. So this Gideon, Chandra, and Skysovereign help do that job. And then we've also got 4 Galvanic Blasts for when we're up against another really aggressive deck. It's going to make it so that it's really hard for anyone to get ahead of us on tempo. And then to continue to round out our removal, we've got a Blessed Alliance, a Skywhaler shot, and a Stasis Snare. And then when we're up against sweepers, we've got these 2 Reckless Bushwhackers, and we also have 2 Fragmentize, which are going to be particularly important probably against the there's the Aetherworks Marvel decks, and there's a few other decks that play a pretty large number of artifacts and enchantments. So that's the deck. It's really good. It's been doing well basically all season. This was the original breakout deck of the format, and it has continued to evolve and get refined. And this is just the most evolved, refined version of the deck to date. So I'm pretty excited to get into some games and show you guys what it's made out of.